farmers movement. Lot of farmers, they used to commit suicide because Bandaya is to speak against and to stand up against the.
You had to create the path for them to follow.
And they are not only they are walking.
And not just that, they're very endearing because they have some sort of street smartness within
Yes,
them. They
yes,
try
of
to
course.
get out of a lot of tricky situations.
They say you are jealous, you are not good, you are intolerant. But woman, their name is jealousy. So they attribute a lot of negative characters to women.
You have been under attack also, right?
Yeah,
From
many
both
times.
sides. I think you also said the particular story, Heartland, and the character Mehroon, you said, is a personal connection with her.
No, I never had any personal connection with Mehroon, but readers do that.
Thank you very much, ma'am. It's very rare to have somebody who wears so many different hats. Good afternoon, everyone. Today we are indeed honored to have amidst us Madam Banu Mushtaq, the Booker Prize winner. She is a writer, an activist, and also a translator. Her collection of short stories titled Heartland was the first collection in Kannada to win the Booker Prize. She has given visibility and voice to ordinary Muslim women in southern Karnataka. The Booker Committee, commenting on the award, said that while rooted in a specific social setting, her work achieves universal resonance by exploring fundamental human experiences. Welcome, madam, and we are really honored to have you with us here today. So I would just like to begin by asking you that you have been an integral part of the protest literature movement, the Bandeya literature movement. How has that actually impacted your creativity? How much has that gone into the creation of your characters?
Yeah, Bandaya Sahitya Sangatna is a literary movement. I will explain you as to what it is first.
Sure.
Then I will explain you about the impact on me. Bandaya Sahitya Sangatna was formed during 70s in Karnataka. During 70s there were a lot of social movements which were active in Karnataka, like Dalita Sangarsha Samiti, the Dalit movement, farmers movement. Lot of farmers, they used to commit suicide because lack of rain or not getting proper rates for their crops, all those things, and they were unable to repay the bank loans, etc. That's why they committed suicide.
They couldn't pay back the loan.
Yeah, and there was feminist movement also. It was new at that time during 70s. It was not very familiar with us. And there was another movement which was focusing on all these movements, that is Bandaya Sahitya Sangatne. Bandaya is nothing but it is a sort of resilience. It's a protest. Bandaya is to speak against and to stand up against the present prevailing injustice system. That is called the Bandaya. Bandaya is revolt. Speaking against and standing against the present system. So this Bandaya Sahitya Sangatne, it was started during 70s and it was very popular with the then youngsters among Dalits and farmers and various other factors who were prevalent those times. And I, being a young woman, I was also attracted towards it. The main feature of the Bandaya Sahitya Sangatne was, Sangatne is an organization. Bandaya Sahitya Sangatne is the writers who were actively involved in that Bandaya, they were also activists. They never sat in a AC room or at the convenience of their homes or their rooms, and they never wrote any literature like that. Actually, those writers, they were along with all these groups, hand holding them, walking with them in the streets, sloganing and facing the atrocities of the then system, the government, the police, everybody, and even they faced the lathi charge of the police and the golibar of the police also. They were activists as well as writers. I was also one among them. I was also an activist and I was also a writer, but the most and foremost thing that faced problem for me was I was a Muslim writer, that too a woman writer. And at that time, there were no footsteps for us. Us means the Muslims and the women. So I had lot of challenges. I never knew what to write, how to write, and with which characters I had to write. There was lot of confusions. Then we started these questions in the workshops of Bandaya Sahitya Sangatne. I used to ask, I being a Muslim, what shall I write? Whether I have to write about a Ramzan festival or a Deepavali festival or about some Hindu custom or a Muslim custom. And how shall I write? Am I able to comment on some custom of Hindus or Christians, whether it be feasible, what impact it will be have on the other people? They are the members of the society. All these questions we started asking in the Bandaya Sahitya Sangatne. There we sorted out the things and we came to know. And our stalwarts there, Bandaya like Bargur Ramchandrappa, Kalegoda, Nagvara, Chandana Valikara, Alama Prabhu Bedzur, all those people, they guided us properly. They started telling us, you write about yourself, you write about your people, you write about your woes, you write about your issues and your struggles. Thereby, it was experimental. I myself and some of the other Muslim writers, we started writing in Kannada. We used to write one story. We used to send it for publication and we used to watch the reactions for those stories. It was not easy for us. It was the toughest work because we paved the road first and then we walked on it. Now the writers, they are easily
you have
walking.
to create the path. You had to create the path for them to follow.
And they are not only they are walking, they are running and they are driving easily and they are getting fast also with the recent AI tools, everything. But at those times, it was very tough for us. And being activists, we were held responsible for any of our activities. Even police have arrested me also many a times and I was made into the prison because of our activity, because we were with the people. When the people were arrested and they were shifted to the jail, we were also shifted to the jail. In these things, we learned to take sides. Bandaya wants it. Bandaya wants we should take sides. We should identify who are the oppressed, who are the people who are subjected to a lot of humiliations and who are devoid of life. And some author who is human, who is from Bandaya background, he or she should stand with these people. That was the basic obligation on us. So that's why we had to take sides.
Well, ma'am, when we spoke to each other and even when I read your stories, though we talk about oppression, though we talk about women being in difficult situations, the women characters that you have created are quite strong. Like the word
Yes.
you use, they're resilient. And not just that, they're very endearing because they have some sort of street smartness within
Yes,
them. They
yes,
try
of
to
course.
get out of a lot of tricky situations by using their intelligence. And they have a very dry sense of wit also about them. Because
Yes.
they're able to laugh at the problems that they face.
Yes.
It's not that they're sitting in a corner and crying and all that.
No, not
Where
only
the-
crying.
No,
As you told, they had lot of street smartness. They just knew how to get over a situation. Always they want to be in a win-win situation. They don't want to cry, they don't want to weep. And at the same time, they know how to create sisterhood among the women. Because till then, The literature you take, for example, Shakespearean literature, he says, woman, thy name is jealousy. So they attribute a lot of negative characters to women. And the havoc caused is by the male. They do a lot of things which are not acceptable, and they impose that the women should accept it. When the women, defy their orders and they don't want to accept all that is imposed on them, they say, you are jealous, you are not good, you are intolerant. But actually, the women are propagating sisterhood in my stories, because that is the only best solution they are having. That networking is necessary for them. With those networking and with the help of the street smartness attitude, that is, they are seasoned in that type of, street smartness because of their experience and because of the oppression and because of all these things. They don't want to leave their homes. They want to stick on to their families.
That is another thing I wanted to ask you. They don't want to walk out, rather they want to make their lives better within the family.
Within the family, because, even if some woman walk out of her home, leaves her husband, leaves her, toxic relationships at home, and she walks out, then also she will not get any relief, because the patriarchy is not present only at home. It is present only in the streets also. It is present in the police station also. It is present in the judiciary also. It is present in the legislation also. It is present in the government machinery also. It is present even among the diplomats also. Then where shall she go? Wherever she goes, she has to face the same type of attitude, same cruelty, and same type of victimization. That is why she sees, yes, home is safe. I want to clean it. There is a joke, I don't know whether. A girl was after about 5 years of marriage, a girl was asked, how is your husband? She said, no, he is not a well-trained person. His mother has not trained him properly. Then, what are you doing with him? How are you pulling? She says, whatever I am having, ನನ್ನ ಹತ್ರ ಏನಿದೆ ಅದನ್ನೇ ಹೊಡೆದು ಬಡ್ದು ಸರಿ ಮಾಡ್ಕೊಂಡು ಹೋಗ್ತಾ ಇದ್ದೀನಿ. ವಾಟ್ ಎವರ್ ಐ ಆಮ್ ಹ್ಯಾವಿಂಗ್, I am giving him left and right and preparing him, and I am managing with him. That attitude is there with my female characters.
Exactly.
Also.
Somehow they are repairing the man.
In their own way.
Yeah, that is what struck me, when the usual stock feminist propagandist fiction, most of it ends in separation or in divorce. Or they feel that, walking out of a marriage means freedom.
Yeah.
But none of your characters actually see freedom so in such a simplistic manner.
Yes.
That is what actually intrigued me, because they try and work out and find a network, find some connections.
And even if you walk out of the home, everybody is the same. Even the milk vendor, he is the same. Even the landlord, he is the same.
So you're saying that unless they change from within, unless they find some sort of solidarity amongst themselves, walking out of a marriage is not a simple solution. It's not
simple solution.
Usually
So
that's a very simplistic
your,
formula that we are
toxic relationship. But even then, this toxicity remains in the society. Wherever you go.
I think that is why you once said that gender is religion, right? In one of your interviews, I heard you say that gender is like religion.
Yes, yes.
Can you just talk about that?
No,
Very interesting.
gender is not like religion. What I want to tell is,
Yes.
the patriarchy has taken hold of the entire system, just like I told you, even in the judiciary, even in the legislation, even in the government, power, everything it has taken hold. Even the patriarchy has taken religion also as their weapon. The, concept of God, it is also been taken as a weapon against women. If anybody says, God says so, you should respect, because we have got, I don't know whether you study Sati Sakkubai or not, but we have got some literature about Sati Sakkubai, whose husband, he was so ill, he cannot walk, and Sati Sakkubai performed the duty of a sati by putting him on her head and taking him to the home of his girlfriend. I don't know for what purpose. She took him there. So this type of the role model they are giving us, these in the name of God, in the name of religion, in the name of culture, and in the name of practices, in the name of emotion, the emotion of mother and child has been exploited in family relationship. Everything they manipulate. They don't say it is patriarchy, but it is patriarchy which is working against the woman in all the fields of life. That's why
And I think
religion,
yes,
it has been used to exploit gender.
gender, yes. Women have been told that this is how God wants you to
Yeah,
behave.
God wants to do this thing for you.
And I think, because
You have to simply obey. Even you should not question it.
yes, unquestioning obedience.
Unquestionable obedience.
And I think that is why, because you have consistently challenged religion, you have been under attack also, right?
Yeah, lot
From
of, many a
both
times.
sides, from all sides.
Yes,
Even
many a times. Many a
How
times.
do you actually look at all that? Very recently also, I think,
Yeah,
when the Karnataka government invited you, there was a problem for
Yes,
certain religious groups.
for the, inauguration of Dasara festival, the same thing. The right-wing politicians, they were active, and they were saying, being Muslim, you should not go to Chamundi temple and you should not inaugurate it. And and even then, they trolled continuously for 40 days, 1.5 months against me. They said all sorts of name calling, they said everything, and they said, Booker is not given to you, it is given to translation. Somehow you have swapped that award, everything they told me. Because it's an open secret. There are a lot of videos of Booker contest. Even then, they alleged all these things, and they barged into my home and demanded that I should refrain from going there. And even they compelled Chief Minister to withdraw the invitation that he has given to me. Because it's an official function. And then there were a lot of protests, there was a march in Mysore, there were so many untoward incidents happened. Then they went to High Court of Karnataka and they demanded that I should not be allowed to enter Chamundi temple. And rightly, the High Court of Karnataka, it rightly dismissed the petition, and then they filed a petition in Supreme Court and demanded that she should not be allowed to go to Chamundi temple. And even Supreme Court rejected that petition. And then there was people who are betting to know whether she will be going or not. That was the main thing. And silently on the due date, I went there, and government has given me protection, and there was protocol, and they invited me there, and CM was there, Karnataka CM. I went with him, and it was a beautiful function enjoyed by the almost all people of Karnataka and abroad. And you might have also seen it. And you can see in YouTube, it is available even today. This type of things, they happen.
I think from both religions.
Yeah,
right?
even the other side, when I upheld the rights of Muslim women to go to mosque and pray, they said you are not among Muslims. You are not allowed to get buried in our Khabrastan. Nobody should invite you to any social functions like marriage or any such thing. And we will not allow you to be buried in our Khabrastan. Then said, why should I worry? It is the headache of the district administration.
After
Because
death.
when by death, when they start trotting, nobody could tolerate it, and they will make all efforts to cremate me, and they will take care of it. I am not bothered about it.
That is such a spunky statement. I'm sure it deserves a huge round of applause.
Yes, they will take care of it.
And I think it is your personal experiences that has fueled your characters also. So many powerful women. And I think you also said the particular story, Heart Lamp, and the character Mehroon, you said, is a personal connection with her. I think the audience will also be interested to hear about it.
No, I never had any personal connection with Mehroon, but readers do that. Readers give personal connection with her because at one of the programs, I just narrated my encounter to I commit suicide because of suffocating atmosphere at home, and after I delivered my first baby girl. I was under postpartum depression, and somehow I tried to commit suicide by pouring kerosene over me due to some atmosphere which never allowed my intellectual activities to be taken. I narrated it in the open public function, and the readers started giving connection with Mehroon to my personal incident. It was not in my mind even when I wrote it.
Okay.
It was a different thing.
Yeah, and I think, you go very deep into a particular locale, southern Karnataka.
Yeah.
Right? And it's a very niche area, very localized sort of narration. But even there, you manage to strike a chord with a variety of readers. Readers who are not at all exposed to this sort of life. Readers who are very strange to their rituals and their customs. But I think that is because you talk about certain fundamental experiences that all women go through, right?
Yes.
Perhaps it is about being silenced. Perhaps it is about being made passive.
No, I tell you one thing. See, the reactions I get, somebody, I don't know who she is, she says, most of them, they have tried and got my phone number from publishers, that is the Penguin India people, or I don't know where. I am an advocate and my number is open to each and everybody. A woman from Pakistan, she calls and says that she is calling from Pakistan, and she says, I want to know how you have written my story. I am in Pakistan and you are in India. How it is my story you have written. It is my mother's story you have written. It is my grandmother's story you have written. How you have to come to know about it? I demand answer from you. I said, no, it is nobody's story. It is only my story or my people's story. And I told her, wherever patriarchy is there, wherever oppression is there, in the name of religion, in the name of God, and in the name of customs, and in the name of culture, everywhere, the nature of the man is so cruel, he wants to control the woman, that's all. To control her, he imposes lot of conditions, lot of restrictions, and she is dehumanized. That is not happened only in Pakistan, not in Turkey, recently from Turkey. I don't know why it is so popular there, because they resonate with the customs and the common names of Muslim custom. Hundreds of women and men, they have purchased this heart lamp, translated into Turkish language. They show that hot lamp, they show their face and say, I have purchased this, I have purchased this. And they are so happy to purchase because they are identifying themselves with those characters and those circumstances. It's not only circumstances of South Indian, that is Karnataka Muslim families. It crosses the borders. That is what your subject is. Beyond the borders, it is reaching beyond. That is what the Max Porter told. Max Porter,
Yes.
the chairman of the jury of the
Booker,
Booker
yes.
committee, he said, that is one of the reasons he said why we selected this book. Because it crosses the border and reaches to each and everyone who is not even well versed with the Muslim community or with those rituals or with South India. That is why it is so important that it crosses the border, and that's why we have selected the story he has told that.
And I think, when we talk about marriage, the institution of marriage, various people have seen it very differently. Like feminists sometimes say that marriage is the only place where you sleep with the enemy. And sometimes it is said that for men, marriage is a convenience, and for women, it is a trap. So I think these are institutions which people relate to, and how you have negotiated these dynamics, right?
Yes, of course. Because yes, marriage is a very sensitive, very ticklish, and a very celebrative and very great circumstance. It's a greatest social circumstances in Indian, scenario. Whether it is irrespective of any caste or creed or any geographical,
Location, yeah.
yeah,
Marriage is the same.
marriage is the same thing, the same dowry. Yeah, whether they are Muslims or Hindus or Christians or anybody, they demand dowry. See, I don't understand. A woman you take her to your home. You take her to your home, the husband takes her to his home and asks her, and there is a duty cast upon her to be his wife, to share sexual relationship with him. Okay, that is done. Then the next morning she has to get up and she has to prepare some hot water for his bath. Then she has to prepare this dosa or idli or whatever. You have seen the great Indian kitchen. She has to undergo all those rituals, and she has to sweep the home, and she has to bear him children, and she has to press his clothes, and she has to do everything. For doing all these things, he says, you bring a cash money. You bring it. What type of logic is this? I don't understand. Normally, if somebody comes to our home and she takes up the job of, washing
All
the
this,
cloth,
she is paid.
she is paid. Whereas this girl is transferred from her home to another home as a slave, and she has to do all the course of work there, and thereby she has to bring a car, a fridge, a lot of cash, everything, gold, everything, and say, I have, and he asks her, go bring more, go, as if she is a gold mine. This system I cannot understand.
Even
Those
in,
things,
in
those
Kerala, the number of women are more than that of men. Still, the practice of dowry happens.
happens. And everybody has accepted it.
Yeah, naturalized, normalized.
It is naturalized. Why? Nobody sees this logic. Nobody understands this is inhuman activities.
Exactly.
Yeah.
I think that is why, you describe your writing as a politically proactive process.
Yes.
There is
of
a
course.
very strong political ideology within your writing
Yes.
and even your translation.
Yes.
Right?
Yes.
I think it would be great if you could tell us something about the way you translated the legal acts into Kannada.
The act of
Yes.
Actually, there was during 2005. I already told you there are a lot of feminist activities taking place in Karnataka, even in India. Thereby, repeatedly we draw the attention of the government, and finally, government appointed a lady from Ceylon to to draft Prevention of Women from Domestic Violence Act. We advocates For a simple thing, we call it as DV Act. But it is a Prevention of Women from Domestic Violence Act. It was enacted and it was, handed over to the government of India. It was placed in the parliament and it was duly recognized, and the president signed it, and it is a law now. We are all advocates practicing now. But when that act, because the basic rule in that law is all the patriarchal misdeeds, crime, cruelty, it starts from the home. Discrimination, a son is discriminated against a daughter. All these things start from the domestic area. That's why she should be given protection in the home itself, in the domestic area itself. That is why that act was enacted. When I started reading it, it was such a great and ticklish job for me. I couldn't understand anything of it. There were about 35 sections, not more sections, 35 sections, but we could not interpret. I myself could not, for 6 months I read and reread. I could not found anything. And the greatest problem was, it was a new act and there were no precedents either from the High Court and the Supreme Court. There was no precedent, there was no precedent for Domestic Violence Act. Even the sections we have to interpret, and the application also we had to interpret. And it was a tough job. Then we started, continuously and another challenge was, Domestic Violence Act was neither, it was a civil act, nor it was a criminal act. It was a hybrid act. We call it as a hybrid act, where there are criminal provision as well as civil provision, and this has to be blended properly. So it's a hybrid act. So I was greatly disturbed with it, and I started writing to understand it. I started writing it in Kannada. There was no AI translation in those days. With my own efforts, I started translating it to one section. I translated it into Kannada, and then I started reading. Then I could not get correct meaning of crux of it, and then I started once again translating it, and thereby I translated the entire book. And that book, one of the publisher who used to supply me he used to come to our office and he used to supply me law books. One day he saw my efforts and said, "What are you doing, madam?" I said, "See, this is the toughest job for me. I am translating domestic." He said, "So all the advocates are facing the same issue. Ma'am, you just give it to me, I will publish it."
Oh, wow.
That's why he published it. And from 2005, it is running like anything. Several editions it has taken.
Bestseller in Karnataka.
It so happened like that.
And that brings me the question of translation also, madam.
Yeah.
Because Booker Prize, I think, they also mention the translation and how nuanced the translation of Heart Lamp is. And even when I read the book, I think very deliberately some local words have been retained in the text.
Even local English.
Local English.
Not
yes.
only the local words.
Yes. I think that is what makes it very unique.
It is not high defined, vocabulary, like highly sounded vocabulary. It is simple English and native English. That is also the speciality of the translation.
Yeah, I think that was a very conscious effort, right?
Yes,
to make it very indigenous, ethnic English, like Indian English.
No, how myself and my translator we discussed was, if there is an English novel, they want to say about pizza, they say just mention pizza and they continue.
They don't explain.
They won't explain. They won't give any footnotes.
Yeah, I think Harish Trivedi once said, footnotes are like falling at the feet notes.
Yes.
You're telling your English reading public, look, this is how I speak, please
Yes,
read this.
yes,
So I think very deliberately you have done away with that.
Yeah, we
if
done
you want
away.
to read me, you access me.
You have
you
to
find
search.
out.
You have to search. You find out.
Yes.
Because we find out what is pizza.
Yeah.
We find out whatever you are telling, whatever you are saying, we find out. And we are doing this thing from so many hundreds of years. And now you find out what we are telling. If you are interested, you find, and that they are finding out now.
They're now finding out. They are desperately trying to find the
Desperately.
equivalent words.
Yes.
What does this
Yes,
mean?
yes.
Excellent. And I think, ma'am, this is a huge responsibility also, right?
Yes.
Because when the booker is received by a person from Karnataka or from Kerala, automatically the locale, the demography that you have written about in your book, they become very visible.
Yes, of course.
So the title of our talk as well, we've titled it Booker and Beyond.
Yes.
So what are you planning to do with this visibility, madam?
Yeah, with this visibility, right now from the announcement May 20th till this day, I am just visiting various places, and I am meeting new faces. I am understanding their ideology, their culture, their notions, and the reactions about the heart lamp, and what they want to know more about these women. Actually, there is one sense among, I have visited Edinburgh, Hong Kong, Jakarta, and Bali, everywhere. Everywhere for our, my panel discussion, lots and lots of people they attend. They want to know more, they want to know more about these women, their mindset, their culture, and that is the street smartness these women are having, and how they have picked it up, and how even they don't get a street fight, they are bringing him into their own terms. That tactics is them, and how they are doing this.
And I think you also said literature from Karnataka, Kannada literature must be translated with urgency.
Yes.
Right? Because you have to create a discourse of this narrative from Karnataka.
Yes. Yeah, but in Karnataka it is not like Kerala. I'm so thrilled to see in Kerala a lot of books are being translated. I read those translations whenever I go to Bahrain or to my daughter's
Sharjah
home.
Book Fest, yeah.
Yes, yeah, Sharjah Book Fest everywhere. I see there are lines of Malayalam books and translated books also there. It is not the tradition in Karnataka. Very rare and very few books are translated there. That is why I felt the urgency. There is a lot of Kannada literature, thousands of years. There is a history of 2000 years for Kannada. And it has got an independent lipi. Yeah, Kannada has an independent lipi. And it is a language where all the, humanitarian values, ethical values are present in that literature from the age, and it has to be translated now. It is the urgency.
And Kannada has a very strong tradition of women writers as well.
Yes, yes.
So where would you place your work within this?
It is my quite a different thing, because when I said there was there were old Kannada, Hala Kannada, Hosa Kannada, New Kannada, and there was Pragatishila. All these trends were there in Kannada literature. All these stages are identified. But after 70, at a time, Kannada literature has branched out into three prominent segments. One is Dalita Sahitya. That itself has taken a special branch as a Dalita Sahitya. Lot of Dalit youths they are writing, and they are the best works I have ever seen. And at the same time, there was Mahila Sahitya, feminist literature. It also branched out in a segment. And third one is Muslim Sahitya, Muslim sensibilities. Till then it was not there. Due to the influence of the Bandaya, many of the Muslims they started writing. Recently, there was a survey conducted. There was some dispute, and a survey was conducted online, and people wanted to know the names of Muslim writers who have published at least one book, and there were about 600 writers. So it's a special segment. All the Dalita Sahitya, Strivadi Sahitya, and Muslim Samvedane Sahitya. And I come across and I have been identified in all these segments, all the three segments. In Mahila Sahitya also, whatever the universities publish regarding Mahila Strivadi Sahitya, I will be counted there. And whatever there will be, the Dalita Sahitya, I have given lot of Dalita Sahitya, I will be counted there. And even for Muslim Samvedana Sahitya, there also I will be
That is
counted.
excellent.
And all the three segments, I will be recognized.
Before we break and go over to the audience, I would just like to ask you, it's a very personal question. Feminism, the idea of feminism has been interpreted in many ways. One, how do you look at feminism? Because one thing, feminism has always been seen as something very Western.
Yes,
right?
of course
And
it is Western only.
yeah, we have reinterpreted feminism in our own way. And another question is, you have all these forces of capitalism or neoliberalism, right? And which has completely taken over the main ideology of feminism.
Yes.
And India, India as of today, where you have majoritarian governments across the country, what do you think feminism has done for the women in India?
Feminism has done lot of things to women of India. Actually, I was also the one among the first generation who interpreted feminism in our own way. There was no definite notion feminism should be like this only. So, for first in the first event, what we did was we just equated ourselves with the men. Equated.
With the men.
Men.
With the men, yeah.
With the men. Like, so men demanded whether you want to say you want to wear pant and you want to wear shirt and you want to smoke, you want to drink. Is that your concept? They used to pose lot of questions against us. Then finally we realized it's quite different. And then we started coining slogans. We said in one of our program, yes dear, yes, I said I will marry you but not carry you. That way we started to know, to understand, to apply, to decipher and to understand this feminism in our own way,
Our own
through
context.
our lapses and through our experience and in our own context. In total, I want to say feminism is nothing but equal treatment and equal opportunity by the society to both men and women. Equal treatment and equal opportunity.
Both within the house and outside.
Yeah, outside, everywhere, in both the ways.
So yes, thank you so much for that. And I open the conversation to the audience. If you have any questions, I think we have time for a couple of questions.
My question is, how has the book changed your life when you're writing? Do you think it's changing, you're going to change your writing? And how do you manage to, you're a practicing lawyer.
Yes.
So how do you manage to balance your time, take time out to write such exquisite writing as well as doing the other work?
Actually, right now it is absolute imbalance. Not at all any balance. No element of balance is lying there. It's a total imbalance because after Booker, after this book, it has been published throughout about say a span of 40 years. There are about 7 collections, and among 7 collections there are more than 60 to 65 short stories are there, and among which 12 stories have been collected and made into Heart Lamp. And all the other stories, they are coming one by one. Now second collection is being translated by some other lady by name Deepa Ganesh, and it is going to be published. And further I am working on my autobiography, and autobiography it was half done during last May, but after May I have not written even a single word in that autobiography. It has stayed where it is, but Now it is urgency for me because the BBC has another agreement with me. The BBC want to record all the events of writing of my autobiography. They want to do it in about 5 to 6 episodes. There will be one representative of BBC all the time with me, and he or she will be recording the entire episodes, where, how I am writing and what I am referring, whether I am doing any research work or I am writing by my memory. All these things they have been now recorded. They will be having about 6 hours, recordings, which they will bring down into, I think, 2 hours documentary. The documentary and this autobiography, they have to be released at a time. That's why now I want to work continuously on the autobiography. But the thing is, I am not getting any time. I am going on. Either I will be in the programs, or I will be in the aircraft, or I will be in the lounge of aircraft, or I will be in the car running to my home back. Otherwise, I am not at all free anytime. But now it is already people are arranging so programs, and next after 15 days once again I am coming to Kerala, and after 20 days there is another invitation for me in Kerala, which I have not accepted, and those people are very angry on me, and they are saying you are discriminating against us, you cannot do like that, you have to come. They are insisting me, and this is what imbalance I am getting now. Right now I am not getting time even to write or even to for any programs. But now I have to cancel all the programs and stick on to write my autobiography. That is the position now.
Ma'am, despite the progress in feminism, the domestic violence and the atrocities against women in public spaces are on the increase, even in Kerala, even in the capital city of Kerala. And there are a number of cases pending for their share of women in joint families, especially Hindu families. There are a lot of cases pending in High Court of Kerala and in several other cases. And even their sisters are not supporting them in their rights to earn their succession, their share in the assets. How do you explain that?
Yeah, Succession Act, in Hindu Succession Act has been, amended several times. There are more than about 7 landmark judgments on the Hindu Succession Act, where the women's properties, shares have been defined. And even then, whatever I have seen as a lawyer, whenever I need, I go through various judgments, and in them I see most of the time I pick up the judgments of Kerala High Court. They are highly advanced. They know, they are very human. And those, Kerala High Court gives a good reasoning and good judgments, which I quote myself in the court many a times. Rather than any court of our India, Kerala High Court judgments are highly legal and human in nature. And of course, pendency is there. Pendency is there in Karnataka, pendency is there in Kerala, and pendency is there in Supreme Court also, which has to be expedited. I do agree whatever you are telling, but the thing is, I think there are more various NGOs in your state in Kerala. The legal awareness program, now even in Karnataka, we are concentrating mainly on women. We gather women and we explain them whatever the legal provisions are there. But I want to say, now this has to be shifted. These legal awareness programs should be shifted to men also. Yes, they should know what is what the law is progressing, and if I do something, whether it will, my act will become offensive, am I liable to answer for it? They should know more and more about it. That's why this legal awareness trend should be shifted to men, and they should be educated. That is also very important. The role of the society is also very important in safeguarding the health of the society.
Thank you very much. And with that, I think we are running short of time. Yeah, we are running short of time. So thank you very much, ma'am. It's very rare to have somebody who wears so many different hats. You're an activist, you're a writer, you're a lawyer, you're a translator, and you do all this with effortless ease and succeed in every one of them. So all the best in all your future endeavors. It's been lovely talking to you, and thank you so much.